Let me ask you something a little paradoxical. What if I told you that in the high-stakes world of trading, the secret to winning is actually to become the absolute best at losing? Yeah, it sounds completely backward, I know, but according to trader Tom Hugard, it might just be the single most important lesson anyone can learn about the markets.
Okay, so let's just start with a brutal, unavoidable truth. The numbers don't lie. Major brokers consistently report that around 75%, sometimes even more, of their retail clients lose money. And that's not a fluke, it's a constant. To put it simply, 3 out of every 4 people who try this fail. And this is the real puzzle, right? I mean, we are living in a golden age of information. We've got instant news, incredible charting tools, practically zero-cost trading. Logically, you'd think success rates would be going up. So why aren't they? Well, the answer has nothing to do with the tools and everything to do with the person using them.
To really get to the bottom of this, we have to look at the author's own story. Because on paper, Tom Hugard was, well, he was basically built in a lab to be a perfect trader. He had the background, the drive, the passion. He was the poster child for what you'd think a successful market operator looks like. I mean, just look at this resume. A bachelor's in economics, a master's in finance, an insane work ethic, and a genuine, deep love for the markets. He had checked every single box. He had all the tools that conventional wisdom tells you lead to success. And yet, here's his own conclusion. All of that education, all of that passion, it wasn't the key. In the real world of trading, it meant almost nothing when he was starting out. So what on earth was the missing piece? To show you just how flawed our common sense can be, Hugard tells this powerful story from his early career. It's a pretty sobering cautionary tale about a company called Marconi. So Marconi stock was flying high, right? Up around 1,200 pence. Then it starts to fall. By the summer of 2001, it hits 450 pence. Now, using perfectly normal logical thinking, investors thought, wow, it must be cheap now. So they bought the dip. But it just kept falling, all the way down to 32 pence. And you know what? People were still buying, absolutely convinced it was the bargain of a lifetime. The stock eventually went to zero, vanished. That normal thinking, that instinct to buy low, it led to absolute financial ruin. And this story, it gets right to the heart of the whole problem. The Marconi investors didn't fail because they were dumb or because they lacked information. They failed because of a much, much bigger vulnerability. Their own brains. You see, our minds are hardwired with these ancient survival instincts that are just disastrous for navigating the random, uncertain world of the markets. And this realization is what led Hugard to his big aha moment. After years and years of struggling, it finally clicked. The market wasn't some external puzzle he had to solve. No, it was an internal mirror, and all it was doing was reflecting his own psychological flaws right back at him. And this is the turning point. This is everything. Real success wasn't about finding some secret indicator or some magic formula on a chart. It was about mastering his own mind. The real battle wasn't against other traders or the market itself. It was against himself. You know one of the biggest ways our minds betray us? It's through something called apophenia. This is our brain's deep-seated need to see patterns everywhere, even in completely random noise. We desperately want to make sense of the chaos. So we start connecting dots that have no real connection. It's like seeing shapes in the clouds, except in trading, those imaginary shapes can cost you a fortune. This quote from Anais Nin just perfectly captures the idea. Our own biases, our hopes, our fears, they all act as this incredibly powerful filter. We aren't seeing a pure, objective picture of the market. What we're really seeing is a reflection of our own internal state. So what you end up with is this huge fundamental conflict. Your brain is a survival machine, right? It evolved over millions of years to do 2 things really well: avoid pain at all costs and seek out pleasure and certainty. But the market's reality is the complete opposite. Loss is a non-negotiable part of the game, and the future is always uncertain. You are literally fighting your own biology every single time you place a trade. So, if our own brains are the problem, how in the world do we fix it? Well, Hugard's solution is pretty radical. It requires a complete rewiring of how you think about success and, more importantly, how you think about failure. This right here is the heart of the best loser wins philosophy.
You see, elite traders don't try to avoid losses. That's impossible. They just accept them as a cost of doing business. Their real skill is in managing those losses, keeping them small, keeping them emotionally painless, so that they can stay in the game and be mentally ready for those big wins when they come. So how do you actually do this? Well, there are 3 key steps. Step 1, you have to detach your ego from the outcome of any single trade. A win or a loss does not define you. Step 2, focus only on your process. Did you follow your plan? That's the only thing you can control, and it's the only thing that really matters. And step 3, and this one is the hardest, you have to develop the mental flexibility to admit you're wrong instantly. No ego, no hoping, just clean acceptance and cutting the loss. You know, this concept isn't just true in trading. It's true in pretty much any elite field. To achieve any kind of greatness, you have to get over the fear of failure. Let's just take a look at one of the greatest athletes of all time as an example. Think about Kobe Bryant. Everyone remembers him for the incredible clutch shots he made. But here's a wild fact that most people don't know. He also holds the all-time NBA record for the most missed shots. See, he wasn't afraid to take the shot and fail. He understood that you can't hit the game winner if you're too terrified to even miss. In his own way, in his pursuit of greatness, he was the best loser. All right, let's bring all this home. If you want to be in that top 25% that actually succeeds, you just can't use the same thinking as the 75% who fail. It won't work. You have to fundamentally change your entire understanding of what this game is really about. And here it is, the ultimate takeaway. If you remember one thing, make it this. Stop trying to fight the market. The market is just this big, impersonal force. It doesn't know you exist. It doesn't care about you. The real opponent is and always will be the person staring back at you in the mirror. It's your fear, your greed, your hope, and your ego. Master those, and you master the game. The legendary trader Ed Seykota once said this, and man, it is profound. He argued that if you secretly deep down want the thrill of gambling and the drama of big swings, the market will give you that. But if you want slow, disciplined profits, it'll give you that too. The market gives you exactly what your subconscious is really looking for. So this is the ultimate question you have to ask yourself, and you have to be honest. Are you really in this for the emotional roller coaster, the thrill of being right and the drama of the gamble? Or are you here to run a disciplined business, which means embracing small, painless losses in the pursuit of a consistent, long-term process? Because in the end, what you truly want, well, that's exactly what you're going to get.